Hi, and welcome to Plastinct, where one more is one less. Plastinct all began when our co-founder, Timothy Dowdy, would walk with his dog each day in Rock Creek Park. As Timothy and his dog would walk along the parkway, he'd notice plastics and other materials that were just about to end up in streams and waterways. And Tim wondered what he could do to solve this problem. He came up with a simple solution. He brought a bag. So each day, Tim and his dog would walk in Rock Creek Park. He would bring his bag with him, and along the way he would see plastics and other materials, and he would take those and harvest them and bring them into his bag. This is an example of one day's harvest, and Tim would then return back to his home and put them into his trash and recycling process. And that got Tim thinking, what if it wasn't just one Tim, but dozens or hundreds or countless Tims all across the country, all taking the same simple action? People who were used to recycling in their homes, what if we could encourage them to take that same action when they were in the places that need it most? And that's how Plastinct was born. Plastinct values and encourages that simple act, the act of getting plastic out of the environment and into a process where it can be better managed for reuse or recovery. The way Plastinct works is by the technology in the system to encourage people to take that action. It lets them know they'll be acknowledged and rewarded for taking that action, and that also the trash and recycling will be managed for them. Plastinct has two models, the Plastinct 2 model that uses our smart bin and smart bags and has a full service capability that includes both the removal and the processing of the recycling materials, and the lighter Plastinct 1. Plastinct 2 uses smart bins and smart bags and is a full service platform. Plastinct 1 has our self-service 1 bin and is a lighter deployment that is easier to get out into the field. Let's take a closer look at both. The way Plastinct 2 works is driven primarily by the app, and the app is how most users will interact with Plastinct. That's where they'll see their profile, which will show them the impact that they have, the amount of harvest they've done, and rewards they've achieved. It'll also show them maps and locations for where they can find smart bins, and provide them with messaging and other content. The main way that someone will interact with the smart bin is when they're on location. So for example, when Tim enters Rock Creek Park, at certain locations they'll see the smart bin technology. They'll take out their phone, and similar to like they do at Whole Foods, they will scan their QR code. And that will then interact with the smart bin, and it'll let them know and unlock the bag dispenser. That will get them access to our smart bag technology. These have RFIDs, but additionally they are recyclable material that are cute backpacks that can be put on and taken by the users. So instead of carrying around a bag of trash like Tim, they can put on a backpack and go about their business, whatever they're doing. As they're doing that, they can find material, put it into the bag, and take it with them. Then, when they're ready to leave, as they go by the exits, they'll find another smart bin. Once again, they'll scan their ID, and now they'll unlock the receptacle. Instead of having to go home and sort all this material as Tim used to have to do, they just take that bag off, put it into the receptacle, and get a confirmation message. At that point, their deposit is verified, and the Plastinct process takes over. Plastinct drivers on certain times will go to smart bins and process and take the bags out and move them to the Plastinct facility. At the Plastinct facility, a few things will happen. The verification of the deposit to make sure that someone has done what they've said they've done, but then also a pre-sorting process will happen as well. That'll take that material and enhance upon the existing recycling that's in place, and separate it and process it and handle it properly. We recognize that Plastinct 2, while a full service and really powerful vision, has some challenges for getting it deployed initially, so we wanted to think of also a lighter deployment that could get out into the field more quickly. And that's how Plastinct 1 was born. Plastinct 1 could coexist with Plastinct 2 or be its own separate deployment. And Plastinct 1 uses a similar model but has a self-service 1 bin idea. The way that Plastinct 1 functions is very similar to Plastinct 2, but driven almost entirely by the app itself. So once again, that is how somebody will see their profile, maps, find locations, see what they've done, but it'll also be how they actually confirm the deposit that they've made. Instead of having to go to a smart bin and unlock a bag, they can choose to, at a Plastinct 1 bin, take a simple trash bag like Tim had before, or not do that at all. This Plastinct 1 leverages the existing infrastructure that's already in place in cities and counties all across America, and instead encourages more people to use those existing infrastructures. So the user, on their own, can make a deposit and verify it themselves. There will be some opportunities for additional verification using geolocation or self-photography and things of that sort, but primarily this is more driven by less tangible rewards, and so people who want to take this action and be recognized for doing so. So the goal of Plastinct 1 is to get people into existing processes. So instead of taking this material and verifying it and processing it, it's encouraging more people to participate in already existing recycling process. So the material would get into the Plastinct 1 recyclable and then be handled by the city and the council the way they would normally. And that's the vision for Plastinct. Both Plastinct 2 and Plastinct 1, both of them have huge opportunities to have a big impact in the world. We're looking forward to exploring these further and finding which is the best ideal solution to get out there. Thank you for your time, and remember, Plastinct, one more is one less.